If life were an anime, who wouldn't want to be the strongest? Probably no one. But the story I'm about to tell you is not about a man who wanted power. It's about a man whose only wishes was to live a peaceful life with his wife and children. Life decided otherwise. Life made him the strongest, even though he never asked for it. Yorrichi Togekoni. This video contains spoiler, so if you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to leave, but save it for later. Yorrichi was born during the Sengoku era as a twin. At that time, being born as a twin was considered a bad omen, especially in noble families, because it always caused problems for succession. Yorrichi was born with a mark on his forehead. His father immediately decided that he should be killed. However, his mother stood up for him. After some hesitation, his father agreed to let him live, but on one condition: when Yorrichi turned 10 years old, he would be sent to a temple to become a priest. Yorrichi never spoke until the age of 7. Everyone believed he was deaf. His twin brother, Michikatsu, was chosen as their father's successor. From the way they dressed, to the room they slept in, even the servant they had, everything showed the difference between them. Michikatsu believed Yorrichi was inferior, always on their mother's left side, always protected. Yet, despite that, he felt pity for him, so he was gentle. He even made Yorrichi a flute. Michikatsu dreamed of becoming the strongest samurai in the country. To achieve that dream, his father hired an instructor to train him. One day, during a training session, Yorrichi suddenly asked, "Is your dream to become the strongest samurai in the country, brother?" Michikatsu was shocked. That was the first time Yorrichi had ever spoke, and he spoke fluently. From that day on, Yorrichi started talking to Michikatsu about becoming a samurai as well. One day, during Michikatsu's training, Yorrichi asked the instructor if he could participate. The instructor agreed and taught him the basic: how to stand, how to hold the wooden sword. Then he told Yorrichi to attack him. He didn't even finish his sentence. Yorrichi struck him 3 times. Michikatsu was stunned. In all the year he had trained, he had never landed a single blow on that instructor. That was the moment Michikatsu understood something terrifying. Yorrichi wasn't weak. Yorrichi wasn't strange. He was a genius. After that incident, Yorrichi refused to train again. He didn't like hurting people, but Michikatsu couldn't stop thinking about what he had seen. He kept asking Yorrichi, how was he able to do that? Yorrichi answered calmly, "I just observed the movement of the muscle and the flow of the blood inside the body. Like that, I can predict my opponent's movement." Michikatsu finally understood. Yorrichi did not see the world the same way others did. He saw it transparent. When their father heard about the incident, he changed his decision. Michikatsu was no longer the successor. Yorrichi was. One night, Yorrichi went to Michikatsu's home. "Brother, are you awake?" He told him their mother had died. "But why? How that come from nowhere?" Then he said goodbye. He explained that he was going to the temple to become a priest. Before leaving, he said, "Thank you for everything, brother. You're always there for me. The flute you made for me, I will cherish it, because when I have it with me, it feels like you are there too." After kneeling, Yorrichi left. Only after that, Michikatsu learned the truth. Their mother had died from a disease on her left side. "A left side?" Michikatsu whispered. That was why Yorrichi had always clung to their mother. At that moment, Michikatsu felt nothing but envy and hatred toward the genius Yorrichi was. "I hate you." When their father learned that Yorrichi had left for the temple, he sent a servant to bring him back, but Yorrichi was already gone. When Yoichi left his home, he didn't go to the temple. He wanted to see where the sky extended to. So he ran for an entire day and a night without stopping. Eventually, he arrived at a place filled with wide cultivated field. There, he saw a young girl standing alone. He asked her what was she doing. She answered that she was trying to catch tadpole. Her family had died from a disease and she couldn't bring herself to separate the tadpole from their sibling. The girl had beautiful obsidian eyes. Her name was Yuta. She invited Yorrichi to her home. She lived alone. Yuta loved to talk, day and night. That's why Yorrichi said. And she became the one who taught Yorrichi about everything. This was when Yorrichi realized something important. Other people did not see the world the way he did. "10 years later, Yorrichi married with Yuta. She became pregnant. During the final month of her pregnancy, Yorrichi left for one day to find a midwife. He planned to return before sunset. On his way, he met an old man who asked him for his help. His son was sick beyond Tree Mountain. Gentle as he was, Yorrichi carried the old man to his son. By the time he finished, the sun had already set. Yorrichi decided to visit the midwife the next day. He ran home. When he arrived, he saw a massacre. Uta was dead, and the child on her womb was gone. Yorrichi stayed beside her lifeless body for 10 days. 10 days without moving, until a swordman arrived, chasing the demon responsible for that. He told Yorrichi that his wife deserved a proper funeral, and Yorrichi finally spoke. "My dream was to live a great life with my family. A small home was enough for me. I wanted to sleep side by side on our father, close enough that I only needed to reach out my hand to touch theirs. That would have been enough for me, but even that could not become true." The swordman then told Yorrichi about the existence of demons. He invited him to join the Demon Slayer Corps. At the same time, 10 years later for Michikatsu, he had become a samurai. He was respected, admired, a man of status. One night, while traveling with his men, they were attacked by a demon. They stood no chance. Michikatsu was moving away from death when a familiar figure appeared out of nowhere. The demon was killed effortlessly, without struggle, without hesitation. It was Yorrichi. At that moment, something awakened inside Michikatsu. A feeling he thought he had lost. Envy. "His techniques are beyond anything I have ever seen. I want that." From that night on, Michikatsu abandoned everything. His status, his family, his children. He joined the Demon Slayer Corps. Yorrichi created the breathing technique known as sun breathing, but no one could master it. So Yorrichi did something incredible. He created derivative breathing style, adapted to different people. That is why so many breathing techniques began to appear. Still, sun breathing itself remained unreachable. Even Michikatsu couldn't learn it. All he could create was a mere imitation, moon breathing. During that generation, many swordsmen awakened the Demon Slayer mark. But there was a price. Anyone who awakened the mark died before the age of 26. Michikatsu refused to accept that fate. "I haven't surpassed him yet. I can't die." That's when a voice whispered to him. "Then, why don't you become a demon? You won't age, and you'll have all the time you need to become the strongest." That voice belonged to Muzan Kibuchizi. Eventually, Michikatsu accepted. He became a demon, but Yorrichi didn't know that yet. One night, Yorrichi encountered Muzan. The moment Yorrichi laid eyes on him, he understood. He had been born into this world for one reason: to kill this man. Muzan was the most powerful to ever exist. He could alter his body at will, extend his limb, twist his flesh, strike from impossible angle. Yorrichi knew, if I am touched even once, I will die. So he dodged. Every strike sliced through the bamboo behind him. Thanks to the transparent world, Yorrichi saw the truth. Muzan has 7 earth and 5 brain. This is the moment I have trained my entire life for. In an instant, Yorrichi unleashed the 13th form. He caught Muzan again and again. The demon lord was terrified. He never imagined a human like this could ever exist. Yorrichi was about to kill him when he noticed the woman standing beside Muzan. There was hope in her eye. Before striking the final blow, Yorrichi asked Muzan one question.
何が楽しい？何が面白い？命を何だと思っているんだ？
Muzan didn't answer. His eyes were filled only with hatred and disgust. In desperation, Muzan exploded into 1,800 pieces, which he managed to cut down more than 115 pieces, but the remaining fragments were enough. Muzan escaped. The woman fell to the ground, crying, You were so close to kill that bastard Kimatsuji. Muzan's control over her had broken. Her name was Tamayo. Yorrichi spared her life and asked her to help him one day defeat Muzan. The Demon Slayer Corps judged Yorrichi. They accused him of letting Muzan escape, letting Tamayo alive, and Michikatsu's betrayal. Yorrichi said nothing. He accepted every accusation, and so he was banished from the Demon Slayer Corps. After that, he visited an old friend of him, Sumiyoshi. Yorrichi had once saved him, and over time he became closer to his family. Yorrichi told him everything, his story. Sumiyoshi cried, unable to find a word for the pain Yorrichi carried. Then Sumiyoshi's daughter approached him and asked Yorrichi for a hug. Can you lift her to the sky? She like that and you taller than me, said Sumiyoshi. Yorrichi lifted the girl to the sky, and for the first time, he cried. This was everything he had ever wanted. A peaceful life, a family, children of his own. Before Yorrichi left, Sumiyoshi asked him to perform the sun breathing one last time. Those movements were graved into his heart. They became the origin of the Inukami Kagura dance. When Yorrichi moved, he didn't look like a human anymore. He looked like a spirit. Before parting away, Sumiyoshi made a promise to Yorrichi. Yorrichi-san, your technique won't die. I will pass them down to my descendant. Yorrichi smiled, the kindest smile he ever showed, and said, Thank you. Almost 70 years later, during a blood moon night, Yorrichi encountered his brother once again, now Upper Moon 1, Kokoshibo. Kokoshibo was furious. I thought all the Market 1 died at the age of 26. Why are you still alive? Why? Why are you always so special? Yorrichi looked at him and said softly, Brother, this is truly sad. Yorrichi took his stance. The air itself changed. In a single strike, he cut Kokoshibo's neck, but not deep enough to kill him. Kokoshibo knew that the next strike would be the last, but it never came. Yorrichi died standing from natural cause. Kokoshibo was consumed by rage. Even after becoming a demon, even after decades of training, he could never compare to Yorrichi. In a moment of fury, he slashed Yorrichi's lifeless body, and then he saw it. The flute he had made for Yorrichi in the past. Yorrichi never threw it away. He always kept it. Because Yorrichi never hated his brother. He had always loved him.
ない。
道を極めた者がたどり着く場所はいつも同じだ。お前には私が何か特別な人間のように見えているらしい。私は大切なものを何一つ守れず、何の価値もない男なのだ。
If I could speak to Yorrichi, I will tell you this. You didn't fail your mission. The world failed you. By placing all this burden onto your shoulder, your technique didn't die, your will didn't disappear. They were passed on to the next generation, the one who will finally complete what you had begun. So rest in peace, Yorrichi. Thank you for watching this video. Yorrichi is one of my favorite characters of all anime, and I truly believe that he deserves this video. If I talk a lot about Kokoshibo or Michikatsu if you preferred, it's because their stories are inseparable. You can talk about one without talking about the other. If you enjoyed the video, like it, share it with a friend who loves Demon Slayer, and until next time.